Hello and welcome to this election special on India's election destination, where we've got the results of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, the first big battleground. Tomorrow, of course, is Gujarat and Himachal, so plenty to look forward to. Rahul and I will take you in a deep dive through all the big results that have taken place today. Results that are surprising for some, but results that clearly deserve greater introspection.
This is the R-square double engine for India today. The Aam Aadmi Party wanted a double engine, Rajdeep, in Delhi, and they've got one. You've seen the big ticket numbers. What we'll do over the next 2 hours is give you a very minute, granular sense of why Delhi voted the way it did and what might happen if assembly elections were held just now. Some fascinating number crunching coming up on the show this evening.
Okay, Rahul's going to do those number crunching. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party has won, but sometimes even when you win, you have to look at just exactly how you won. The BJP has lost, but can the BJP clutch on to something even in their loss? And what of the Congress party? Pradeep Gupta, our pollster extraordinaire from Axis My India, is with us. But first, Rahul, you want to tell us the big picture.
So let's take our viewers through why Delhi voted the way it did. Remember, 73 lakh votes were cast. There were about 28,000 odd votes in every ward. So it's a tough poll to call. This is the overall big picture. AAP at 134, 126 is what they needed. So they're comfortably placed, relatively speaking, unless BJP makes a grab and tries to break some of these AAP MLAs away, these Parshads away. The BJP at 104 in a respectable triple-digit figure. That's the overall seat share at the end of the day. Let's look at how things have moved between the last assembly elections and now. 2020 February was the assembly election in Delhi. From there, the Aam Aadmi Party's vote share has come down by 12, from 54 to 42. The BJP's vote share has moved from 41 to 39. The big change, and we'll talk a bit about this, is the Congress's vote share going up from a pathetic 5% to a low but not as pathetic 12%, a 7% increase. And this 7% change in the Congress's vote share is why the AAP didn't do as well as they would have hoped for. Why did AAP lose about 12% vote share? How did Congress gain this 7% vote share? Let's try and drive straight into it. And the big factor here really is the fact that Muslim votes have gravitated away from AAP and gone back to some extent to the Congress. And this really is one of the biggest stories of these MCD elections. The fact that Muslim vote for the Aam Aadmi Party has now come down to 53, which is about 14% down from the last elections. The Congress's Muslim vote share has actually gone up to about 30, which again is a gain of about 13%. So the fact that you've got the Aam Aadmi Party losing about 14% of its Muslim votes and the Congress gaining 13% Muslim votes is very important, because remember, Kejriwal was playing this double game, Lakshmi and Ganesh, on currency notes, not taking an open position on the Delhi riots, on issues like Bilkis Bano. That seems to have hurt. And this also plays out when you see the 3 Lok Sabha constituencies where Muslims are present in big numbers. So if I look at what happened in those 3 Lok Sabha constituencies, which is Northeast Delhi, where the Muslim population is about 23%, Chandni Chowk of Harshvardhan, where the Muslim population is about 30%, and Gautam Gambhir's East Delhi, where the Muslim population is 15%. In these seats, you've got the BJP actually ahead of AAP. So BJP has 21 wards out of 41 in Northeast Delhi, 16 wards out of 30 in Chandni Chowk, 22 wards out of 36 in East Delhi. So Rajdeep, this whole idea that somehow Kejriwal thought he could hunt with, run with the hare and hunt with the hound, Muslim voters are telling us you can't be so ideologically flexible.
Look, I think you've got to recognize the fact that as Arvind Kejriwal tries to expand beyond Delhi and moves to other states, he tries to fashion his agenda to suit the politics of that state. So as he moved from Delhi to having national ambitions, he, as we've seen particularly in the case of Gujarat, has tried to in a way also capture a section of the BJP's Hindutva vote, and thereby Arvind Kejriwal's Muslim vote, which perhaps he took for granted in Delhi, has to some extent shifted from him. Not altogether. He's still getting 53%, still getting more than half of it. But the 2020 Delhi riots in northeast of Delhi, the CA agitation that took place, anti-CA agitation in the national capital, and Mr. Kejriwal's ambiguous stand on that. Somewhere down the line, Mr. Kejriwal has tried to have a delicate balancing act. And sometimes when you try that, you can fall off. Now, he hasn't fallen off entirely, because he still gets 53%.
No, but he's taking these Muslim voters, Pradeep, for granted in some senses. He's assuming that Dalits and Muslims are his now, regardless of whether he stands up and speaks for them.
So it's Muslim for sure, and also lower section of the society, because Kejriwal has positioned himself as a politics of development, and the moment he tried to shift the positioning towards the Hindutva, he lost big number of 12 percentage points from 54 to 42 this time. That is a very big fall in 2 years' time.
At some point in time, Rajdeep, Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal will need to decide where they stand on these issues. You can't assume that the minority vote is yours if you don't stand, if the minority voter doesn't see you standing up for him.
Absolutely, Rahul, but I will still say that at the end of the day, he has won this election.
Oh, sure.
You know, he
but
has
not
defeated...
but not, if you look at the vote share percentage in comparison with 2020 Assembly, which is the closest comparative, his vote share is down more than 10%.
But if you look at Delhi, he will, I'll tell you what will happen. He will say, compare me to 2017 MCD, compare apples to apples. Look, if you look at what is happening in Delhi, 2014 and 2019, Rahul, the BJP gets almost close to 60% in one of those elections, certainly well over 50%. An election is held 6 months after 2019 in the Vidhan Sabha. The Aam Aadmi Party gets over 50%. The BJP comes down into the 40s. So I think Delhi's voters are very selective. And this was a municipal corporation election when local candidates also matter. You will see a lot of the AAP strong Muslim candidates have done well. In Balli Maran, for example, the AAP has done very well in those wards. You go to certain areas where you give new candidates tickets, people who are not as influential in their area, they lose. And many of the margins are 50 votes, 100 votes, 300 votes, 500 votes. So I am a little hesitant to give big takeaways based on this. But you're right. As a general principle, I think Arvind Kejriwal has to be worried that the Muslim voter no longer sees him as the natural opposition to the BJP. And we saw that even in Pradeep's exit poll for Gujarat. It is among Muslim voters that the Congress is ahead of him in Gujarat.
No, I don't agree with Rajdeep. The fact is here the Muslim voters are giving you a very clear signal, Pradeep, that you can't take our vote for granted. If you assume that we'll vote for you even if you don't speak up for us, whether it's on the issue of the riots, look at what happened in the riot-affected constituencies. There again, the AAP has lost. You can't take anybody's vote for granted.
You can't, but you see the flip side, Rahul, very quickly, is that you also have to recognize that you can't play Muslim-centric politics. You see, that's the problem of Indian politics. The Congress at some stage paid a heavy price because the BJP successfully portrayed the Congress as pro-Muslim and anti-Hindu. Kejriwal is so conscious of that. You remember how he recited the Hanuman Chalisa before the 2020 elections? He wanted to make clear, I cannot lose the Hindu vote to the BJP. I can afford to lose a section of the Muslim vote, but that Hindu vote cannot go to the BJP.
Let me tell you, in the interest of our viewers, there is a thin line between Hindu and upper caste and religious politics. Please understand this. The moment you say Hindu, you cannot ignore Dalits, you cannot ignore Yadavs, you cannot ignore OBCs. So even Congress tried to do the same thing what BJP is doing by Hanuman Chalisa and all that. Politics, that is only 20%, and 80% of Hindu constituency is not that Mandir politics the way Arvind Kejriwal tried to attract the Hindu by saying that Lakshmi and Ganesh should be there. Okay. The fact is, not only Muslim, even Dalits never like this positioning.
Let me show that to our viewers. Remember, a lot of the backward vote of the Congress had switched virtually en masse to the Aam Aadmi Party. That's changed. I'll take you through the Dalit vote of Delhi. Now, if you see the Dalit vote coming down from 64% in the 2020 Assembly elections to about 48% now. The BJP picking up just a little bit from 29 to 31. but the Congress has gained 14% extra Dalit vote, going up to 18. So you've actually got the AAP losing 16% of its Dalit voters. You've got the Congress gaining 14% of that. That again, one of the big stories of this assembly election. From there, can I come now to the next community that we are tracking, which is the upper caste vote. There again, in comparison to 2020, the Aam Aadmi Party losing about 13% of its upper caste vote, the BJP gaining about 5%, the Congress gaining about 7%. But that story that I just gave you about a big chunk of the Dalit voters, 16% of the Dalit voters moving away, Rajdeep, from the Aam Aadmi Party, added to the fact that you've got Muslims moving away as well, really tells you why AAP hasn't won as big as they have. You can say Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, but they were hoping for a Portugal-style 6-1 victory. That hasn't happened.
All we are trying to do how Aam Aadmi Party lost 12 percentage vote. This is what we are trying to do.
That's right. And if you see where the vote has been lost, you'll see the AAP hasn't done as well Yamuna Par in East Delhi, in Northeast and East Delhi, in some of the poorer parts, where you will have large lower income groups among Dalits in particular, and the AAP did extremely well here. You see, the AAP took away the Congress vote bank after 2013, and it started with Muslims and Dalits drifting towards the AAP because they saw AAP as a contender challenging the BJP. Now, 8 years later, in a municipal election, they are putting Arvind Kejriwal in a way on notice. As I said, I don't think that they have drifted completely away. They have put him on notice. They are saying, if you don't deliver on your promises to us, or if
now you are saying what we started saying at the beginning of the show. Now he's come around to that position.
No, I'm not. I'm still, look, please appreciate, Rahul, he has still got 54% of the Muslim vote, which means that the majority of the Muslims have still gone with him. However, they have put him on notice that this time a substantial section has shifted to the Congress. If you continue on this path of playing this balancing act, even more could shift. I maintain a municipal election is perhaps not the best space to make those big takeaways, but there are certainly warning signals. We've seen that also in Gujarat when Pradeep's exit poll numbers are coming, that Arvind Kejriwal doing much better among tribals, but not so much among Muslims and Dalits. I think people want you to be consistent with your ideological positions. If you are consistent, they reward you for your consistency along with delivery. You have to have delivery and consistency in ideology. So I think both are needed. Arvind Kejriwal is claiming I've done delivery, but has he been as consistent on ideological commitments that he was making 7 or 8 years ago is a big question mark.
Let's get some reactions from our guests joining us on this special broadcast. We've got Siddharth Mishra, astute observer of Delhi politics. With us also on the show, we've got Vineet Goenka from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Anika Mehrotra from the Congress, and we've got Priyanka Kakkar from the Aam Aadmi Party. Priyanka, I'll start with you on the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party A has won, so congratulations for that. B, you've lost a key part of your Muslim and Dalit vote bank, which had moved en masse from the Congress to the AAP. The Congress didn't really try very hard in this MCD election, yet somehow seems to have got these votes. Muslim voters, people at the lower strata putting up on notice saying, don't take us for granted.
Good evening to everyone, Rahulji. Since you're going into the details and your ticker reads devil, the devil lies in the details, you know, there is also another akra, that is that in the previous MCD election in 17, BJP had scored 181, which is now down to 104. So there are those 77 seats and it culminates into some 43% loss of vote share. Where did that vote go? So it is also amusing to me that, you know, while your own exit poll gave us a 149 to 171, and today you are not letting us celebrate even for a day, and you want to dissect. There is also another data that Adesh Gupta ji lost all his wards. You know, that is also there. So a win by even a run.
Let me not play party pooper, and let's not say we don't want the AAP to celebrate. It's a big victory. Remember, you're up against the West Indies team of the 70s and the 80s, or the Australian team of the 2000s. It's a fantastic team. And it's very tough to beat them under any circumstances. The point I'm making is, Aam Aadmi Party was convinced that it's winning much bigger than it actually has.
So were you.
And there are reasons why. and there are reasons why that hasn't happened. What we're trying to do really is try and explain why that's happened.
Then it should be fair, Rahulji. It should also discuss about why Adesh Guptaji's wards lost. Then it should be fair, right? Because if you're dissecting a win, you should also dissect a loss.
Yeah, but Adesh wards being lost is just a
No,
small part of the story.
actually what's happened, a number of big leaders have lost in their wards. Satyendra Jain, the health minister who's in jail, has lost in some of his wards. Manish Sisodia, Atishi. So a number of big leaders have lost in their own wards. So lots to introspect. It's a strange election where winners and losers all have to introspect. Vineet Goenka of the Bharatiya Janata Party, you know, Adesh Gupta is your new face. He's your Delhi BJP president. I saw him on several posters along with Prime Minister Modi, and he's lost in all his wards. So there are question marks that even the BJP will have to answer. Will you concede that AAP is now Delhi's party number one?
Rajdeep and Rahul and everybody on the show, Ram Ram to you all and to the viewers who are watching this particular part. I would like to first congratulate Aam Aadmi Party, the representative, and everybody who's hearing this. Let me also remind that we have increased our vote share, 3%. What has happened actually is Congress going out of the fray has helped Aam Aadmi Party. Yes, they have marginally got victories in many seats, 30 seats. The difference was less than 500, and probably that has benefited them a lot. We'll have to go back to our boardroom, understand what went wrong or what went right. We will continue to do what went right, or we will continue to change what went wrong. But I'd like to bring something to notice. Yes, the earlier speaker spoke about Adesh Gupta losing the seat. Let me remind, Deputy Chief Minister Sishodia lost 3 seats. Satyendra Jain lost 3.
Sir, you lost.
Kailash Gehlot lost 3 seats. Now, who are all these guys? They are the key kingpins of Aam Aadmi Party. And then also, let me tell you, this is a rejection of the corruption which has happened last couple of months in Assembly.
We'll let you rebut, but Raghav Chadha is also joining us at this moment. Aam Aadmi Party's young face. Rahul Kanwar did a lovely job. We met, they played badminton together. So if this was a badminton match, Raghav Chadha, it appears that the Aam Aadmi Party has won, but not won with the kind of conviction that you would have expected or you claimed you would get. Arvind Kejriwal was claiming he'll be 200 plus, BJP won't get more than 20. Was that all bluster? Because as a result of that, you don't have the real bragging rights that you would have otherwise had today.
Well, Mr. Sardesai, I wouldn't use a badminton analogy. However, I would certainly use the analogy of a good student who in every exam crosses 90%, scores 92%, 95%, 97% marks and tops his class. Suddenly in one midterm exam scores 85% and not above 90%. And he himself or people around him start considering that result to be unfavorable. I think that's the right analogy. It's probably because we are so used to getting an overwhelming majority of 67 out of 70 virtually in every election that even a nice comfortable majority of a 134 on 250 is not being celebrated by you and others.
No, that's because Raghav Chadha, Raghav Chadha, you use the midterm paper analogy. That's because in this case, the student said, I'm going to get 95% again. Had you said, I'm aiming for 80%, it was fine. You said you're going to win more than 200 seats.
Well, yes. Well, every student aims for 100%, not 90%. And when you write the exam, you feel that you're getting more than 90%. However, on another, let's also understand that this is the first time that AAP fought an election against an incumbent BJP. And we defeated an incumbent BJP. BJP got 7 of its chief ministers, 17 of its union cabinet ministers, more than 100 members of parliament, and the entire national organization of BJP, RSS combined, and the CBI, the ED, the income tax. They in fact roped in a convict, a con man who's suffering a sentence in Tihar jail to become their star campaigner. They put everything, they used every dirty trick in the book to ensure that Kejriwal is stopped, Aam Aadmi Party is stopped. However, the people of Delhi have blessed their son Arvind Kejriwal. They have rewarded the Aam Aadmi Party with an additional responsibility of sanitation and cleanliness by giving us an opportunity
Raghav, in Delhi, there is no anti-defection law at play in the MCD elections. Amit Malviya tweeted earlier this evening to say, now over to electing a mayor for Delhi. It will depend on who can hold the numbers in a close contest, which way the nominated councillors vote, etc. Remember, Chandigarh has a BJP mayor. You've got 134. The BJP in the past, in Uttarakhand, Arunachal, Madhya Pradesh, elsewhere, has been able to form governments in tricky and tight situations. Are you concerned that some of your new Parshads could potentially leave and there could be an MCD which still has a BJP mayor?
Point number one, nominated councillors do not have voting rights in the MCD. Point number one. So his assessment and all this filibustering is absolutely, not even worth considering. Point number two, the majority is with the Aam Aadmi Party. People of Delhi have voted for change. People have voted to remove the BJP and install Aam Aadmi Party at the MCD. So I throw this question back to the BJP, that do they wish to indulge in open horse trading and Operation Lotus? Is it the same BJP of the late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahab who resigned when he fell short of majority by one member of parliament? Is it the same BJP that is today openly boasting and claiming that we will indulge in horse trading, we will conduct Operation Lotus, it is our mega Operation Lotus through which we are going to form the government in the MCD? And having said that, let me tell you, Rahul, that since the year 2013, when Aam Aadmi Party fought its first election and formed its first election, BJP has been trying to break our party. They have been trying to buy our MLAs in Delhi and in Punjab. And let me rewind back to 2013 only, when BJP was 4 short of majority. They had 32 in a 70-member house. They needed the magical figure of 36. They could not break 4 MLAs of Aam Aadmi Party in one full year when the entire assembly of Delhi was put under suspended animation. We had 28. They couldn't steal, they couldn't take 4
Sense of this?
of our
Can
MLAs.
some of
So
these new AAP councillors switch?
Different stuff.
You know, look, I think councillors are far more prone. There are no defection laws.
Sure.
You know, the cases that you mentioned, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Arunachal, Manipur, we can go on and on, are all states where there are defection laws. Yet the BJP was able to either break governments, form governments. Much easier to do that in the MCD. Having said that, I do believe initially at least the AAP has the advantage. With 134, I don't know whether BJP on day one will want to be starting an MCD by breaking another party, given that I think that will send out the wrong signal. But 6 months down the line, 9 months down the line, there's a rotational mayorship, so you don't know what the future will bring. Raghav Chadda says, my MLAs have stood like a rock behind us. MLAs, yes. Municipal councillors, we don't know, because, you know, they have the way municipal councillors unfortunately operate in several parts of this country. They are available sometimes to the highest bidder. We've seen that across this country. You know, municipal councillors have quadrupled their assets in a very short period of time. So the temptations are great. However, I think with these numbers, advantage AAP at least for the first few months. I don't know what will happen 6 months from now. Yes, Raghav.
Mr. Sardesai, should we not ask this question to the BJP? I understand everyone is asking this question to us. What will happen if BJP tries to buy your MLAs and indulge in open horse trading? Shouldn't this question go to the BJP that originally started with this slogan of party with a difference? Is it the same Atal Bihari Vajpayee Sahab's party who resigned when he fell short of majority by one member of parliament, who resigned as the Prime Minister of the country? Is it the very same BJP who claims its propriety on national interest and strengthening democracy, strengthening institutions, and so on and so forth? I think this question needs to be thrown back at the BJP. That
would the
people of Delhi have
BJP
voted
not
you
want to
out.
meddle with this?
People of Delhi have rejected your politics of abuse and falsehood. Will you do injustice to Delhi? Will you do injustice to the people of Delhi? They have rejected you. They have rejected your dirty politics of abuse and falsehood. They have stood with their own son Arvind Kejriwal. They have rewarded him with an additional responsibility. Will you now try to snatch it away through illegitimate, ill-gotten means? I think this question needs to be thrown back to the BJP.
We've got a BJP guest.
I'll answer this. To be fair with BJP, whatever BJP formed the government, all of them were the hung assembly. And in hung assembly, anybody has rights to form the government. Even in Lok Sabha in 1989, when Congress secured #1 party, Rajiv Gandhi said, no, we are not forming the government, and it is Janata Dal and BJP who form the government. You said Karnataka, hung assembly, Madhya Pradesh, hung assembly, Manipur,
Uttarakhand wasn't a hung assembly, Arunachal wasn't a hung assembly.
Wait a minute. Manipur, hung assembly, Goa, hung assembly.
So you're saying this is not a hung assembly,
Yeah,
therefore
so there
at
is
this
no
moment
way.
they don't need to break it. But Vineet Goenka, Raghav, since you must hear what the BJP has to say. Vineet Goenka, will you try and break the Aam Aadmi Party?
So, when I was speaking, in fact, I was interjected and Raghav has got enough time. So let me first complete my part and then I'll answer what you want.
Answer this question because it's an important question. Let's settle it. Will you try and break the Aam Aadmi Party?
No, it is not an important question because just he has raised it. The important question is Aam Aadmi Party been rejected today? They have one number of seats, but they have been rejected summarily in Delhi. And let me put this to you and to Raghav Chadha also. Manish Sisodiya is Deputy Chief Minister and also very looming luminary of Aam Aadmi Party, loses 3 seats within his assembly. Satyendra Jain loses it. Kailash Khelwar loses 3 seats out of 4 in his constituency. Amanatullah Khan, Tahir Hussain, they loses. He raised one point where all our ministers were there. We are a united house. We are together. Our people are out because they are clean.
Sure that you are saying this. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party won. Sorry, Vineet, that's the wrong way of looking at data. You have to look at the big picture. You can't pick a micro detail and say, oh, because they lost. I mean, look at the Japan versus Croatia match.
Okay,
ultimately, Croatia won. Whoever wins goes to the next round. Whoever loses is out. That's life. You can't say that this is the issue. But
this is the given. They should focus on their victory. At the same time, we should also know what went wrong. Bharatiya Janata Party has grown up from 36% to 39%, whereas Aam Aadmi Party, which has got 52% in 2020 assembly election, has come down to 42%. Is that
so
a good
let
thing?
me put that. You have to look at what goes wrong. So let me put that question to Raghav Chadha. Raghav, let's look for a moment at what potentially didn't go the way you would have wanted. In the 2015 assembly elections and in 2020, the Muslim and the Dalit voter of the Congress switched in large part to AAP. The data today shows a big chunk of that vote has gone back to the Congress. Your voting percentage amongst the Muslim community is down 14%. Amongst the Dalit as well, you're losing substantial chunk of your vote. Now how worrying is that for you? It seems you are taking these communities for granted, not taking a position on the Delhi riots, not taking a position on issues like Bilkis Bano. Your voters are giving you a strong signal, don't take us for granted.
Rahul, for every one constituency of a particular community that you show to me to come out with this assessment, I can show you 40 such constituencies where the same community dominates, and all those constituencies have been won by the Aam Aadmi Party, and this assessment will be proven to be incorrect. I think this is a completely incorrect assessment. I will sit with you with a list of all 250 wards and
giving you a constituency-wise assessment and giving you an overall assessment.
Anecdotal evidence.
No, not anecdotal evidence. I'm telling you, as an aggregate, you've lost about 14% of the vote amongst the Muslim community which you had the last time.
Let me finish. Let me finish. This anecdotal evidence that in one particular ward which you lost, one community was dominating and therefore that community hasn't voted for you. I can show you 40 such constituencies where the SCs, the Dalits, people from across the caste, religion and socio-economic strata have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party. Look, Rahul, our politics is different. When we build schools, we build it for all people. Hospitals, mohalla clinics for everyone, free electricity to everyone, irrespective of your caste, creed, religion, so on and so forth. So I think this assessment is incorrect. It may favor certain parties to come out with this assessment and propound like this. I refuse this assessment. Everyone voted for the Aam Aadmi Party when we got 67 out of 70. Many of them voted for us when we got 62 out of 70. And many of them have voted for us even now. We have got the majority. People have voted for Arvind Kejriwal. People have voted out the BJP. That's the big message. And
So are you saying, Raghav Chadha, since you're from Punjab, sab changa hai, that everything, all is well, that there is no need to introspect? Are you saying that these numbers give you only reason to celebrate? Is that what you're saying today? Or do you fear that the Aam Aadmi Party has also been put on notice?
Every election causes a need, creates a need for introspection. There must be introspection. Even if we would have got 230 out of 250, we should have introspected, and we will even introspect now. The constituencies where we were hoping we'll do well, but we haven't done so well. In constituencies and wards where we were thinking we will do, our performance is going to be average, and we've done exceedingly well. Introspection has to be done by every party. And I think my unsolicited advice to the BJP is that they must introspect, that whether their politics of abuse and falsehood has been rejected, and are they on the wrong trajectory by throwing muck at the opposition parties and coming out with these fabricated videos and fictional scams. And let me in conclusion, Mr. Sardesai, leave one very important point with you. This was the first time that AAP fought against an incumbent BJP and defeated the BJP. There has been this notion that the BJP has been trying to, propagate that Aam Aadmi Party wins only when it is in a contest with the Congress and when the Congress is the incumbent, be it Delhi or be it Punjab. I think that notion completely stands defeated. This time BJP was the incumbent in a small municipal election. They made this into a national high voltage election, and AAP has defeated the incumbent BJP. This reflects on what the national politics of this country is going to be. It is going to be BJP versus AAP. It is going to be Kejriwal versus Modi.
Shows, Rajdeep, that the Aam Aadmi Party, Raghav, is trying...
They can take on the BJP.
Interesting point that he makes there. And I think this is what the AAP will play. They will say we are the challengers. We've been saying, I think this phase of elections, we'll see what happens tomorrow, is kaun banega challenger in a way. AAP wants to claim we are a small party, we've taken on the big party, we are in a better position to take on the BJP. I don't think you can again extrapolate that based on a municipal election yet. It's just in Delhi. You're going to have to do it in state after state. I think AAP has proved itself in Delhi as party number one. But across India, can we say today that it's the challenge? I think this is, I appreciate that Raghav Chadha, hopes for the best for the future. But the AAP needs to do this step by step.
Rajdeep,
are they a party in a hurry?
In the world of startups, the Aam Aadmi Party, as a PEVC favorite, private equity venture capital favorite, has a big valuation story happening where they're talking up their own story, but the cash flows don't add up. So the voting percentage may not necessarily add to some of the hype. Now, some of it is for real, some of it is hype. And I want to show this one data set which tells you just how close the MCD election was. So what we did is we compared the seats won by the Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP and the Congress with very tight margins. So let's take you through that. So if you see, out of these 250 wards, how many of these wards were won with a margin of less than 100 seats? AAP won 2 of those, the BJP won, the Congress won. Between 100 to 300 votes, you've got the BJP winning 10, the AAP winning 4, the Congress not winning any. Between 300 to 500, you've got the AAP winning 6, you've got the BJP winning 5 and the Congress winning 1. Between 500 to 1000, 16 for AAP, 8 for the BJP, 1 for the Congress. Rajdeep, that's how close this election really was. Because if you add up 16, 22, 26, 28, 28 seats won by the AAP with a margin of less than 1,000 votes.
Which is why it's a nightmare for Pradeep Gupta to predict. Pradeep, you've got to be much more cautious. Corporation elections. You want to tell us where in the numbers, perhaps, that you didn't get it exact this time?
So that's what we are trying to decode, but Raghav is not trying to understand. This 12% fall of vote is quite a substantial number. We are trying to decode where it is getting fall from. And he's talking about the BJP and he took on the BJP. I must congratulate him that Aam Aadmi Party is now in 3rd office after Delhi and Punjab and now MCD. But the reality on the ground is that BJP has increased their vote share from 36 to 39 this time from MCD, and they are holding back their vote share of 39% from 2020 assembly elections. Now it is clearly evident whom to introspect, and on the other end, Congress has increased from 4.5% to 12%.
Let's take that Congress point, because Onika Mehrotra, the fact is, yes, you've increased from 4.5 to 12%, but you're still a party which essentially is way behind the others. Are you going to clutch on to this straw that, look, section of the Muslims have returned to us, Dalit vote is slowly returning back? Because The fact is the Aam Aadmi Party has taken on the BJP and defeated them. So Raghav Chadha can turn around and say, look, we are the real challengers to the BJP, not just in Delhi, but possibly beyond. Is the Congress a party which will believe that this election offers you any hope of recovery?
Rajiv sir and Rahul ji agreed that we are not getting that much of vote share. At least in the media, give us that space. We request you for that.
All
It makes no
proportionate
sense
to
not
vote
going
share.
to Congress.
Airtime proportionate to vote share.
Please go ahead.
All right. A big shout out to the winners. And rightly said, let's see who's going to be the winner till they elect the mayor. And, well, you know how BJP is smart enough to do it. Coming to Congress.
Just a minute, will you support the AAP? Is there any possibility of the Congress supporting an AAP mayor to keep the BJP away?
Not at all. See, both have actually failed because, you know, each one to their own freebies, Rajiv ji, from free water to, you know, bus rides to electricity to all. And despite that, you know, they've got whatever vote share they've got. But yes, for the Congress, it's time to introspect because Vidhan Sabha elections are not far away. So we also need to see as to why people are dwindling away from us and what is it that we have to offer to people of Delhi, and not only Delhi. You see, the Bharat Jodo Yatra definitely has got an edge for all these matters. But we need to convert into votes.
Rajdeep, can I reframe your question? It's not about whether the Congress will officially support the BJP. It's about these 9 MLAs. Could what happened in Goa get repeated in Delhi? Where these 9 MLAs could go to the highest bidder, whether it's the BJP, the Parshads could go either to the BJP or to the AAP.
No, but I would go along with Pradeep Gupta here, that I think given the fact that the AAP has won, it's not a hung assembly. Yeah. I do believe, at least as I said in the first stage, whether that's 6 months, whether that's 1 year, I don't see the BJP trying to be seen as a party that is breaking a government which has been formed, or in this case a Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Yeah. Had they been below 125, the BJP would have said, look, there is no mandate. I have heard BJP leaders like Aarti Mehra, senior former mayor, saying today, yes, the AAP has won, they've got the mandate, they must now perform. You see, it will benefit the BJP in a strange way. Now Arvind Kejriwal has the government of Delhi, he has the MCD, he has a government in Punjab. In the next 2 years, he has to start delivering on his promises. If he doesn't deliver, then come 2024 or 2025 in this instance of January, the BJP can then hope that anti-incumbency has fully set in against Arvind Kejriwal. He will be in power for, what, 12 years? So therefore, I think the BJP will play now for 2025, thinking that they've got an opportunity. All they need is a leader. You know, I wonder, Siddharth Mishra, whether that's what now will be the next game. The BJP sees an opportunity in these numbers. Who
can be their leader?
Well, you know, Gautam Gambhir's constituency, they've done very well.
And in Manoj Tiwari.
And he's taken on, in a way, Arvind Kejriwal over the Ghaziabad landfill issue.
Can we show that, the data? Because if you look at the comparison of these wards when converted into Lok Sabha seats, the BJP has done badly in all other constituencies except those of Manoj Tiwari and Gautam Gambhir. Those are the only constituencies, and Chandni Chowk, where the BJP's seat share is more than that of the Aam Aadmi Party. In other constituencies, you've got the AAP leading. So that's also the reality. Siddharth, who could be the BJP's face, someone who can credibly take on Kejriwal in Delhi?
Yeah, first, you know, few answers which you people have been seeking. What has saved day for the Aam Aadmi Party today, despite the minority and the Dalit voters shifting away from them, are the Purvanchali votes. The Purvanchali voters have stuck with Aam Aadmi Party in this election. It has saved the day for them. This is something which your, you know, psephologists could ponder over. You know, the unauthorized colonies of Delhi, where largely they reside, they have gone with the Aam Aadmi Party. If you look at the results in West Delhi, from where Mahabal Mishra comes and who joined the party a few days before the elections, you know, there Parvesh Verma's BJP has got just about, you know, 10-12 seats, whereas the Aam Aadmi Party has got 25 seats in West Delhi. So it is the Purvanchal voters who have stuck with Aam Aadmi Party, and it has saved the day for the BJP on this day. Now,
but do you agree though, Siddharth, that this election has put the AAP on notice and opened up opportunities both in a way for the Congress and for the BJP?
Absolutely, because you see the two communities which have moved away from Aam Aadmi Party in this election were originally Congress voters, and so have been the Purvanchali voters who were curated, cultivated by Sheila Dikshit for such a long time. In case they decide to shift base, it will be very difficult for Aam Aadmi Party, as the traditional BJP voters, the Punjabi and the others, whom the BJP looks forward to, are being retained by the party. So you see this floating. So the Aam Aadmi Party has to give it a thought, have to have a look at this. Now, talking about these two members of parliament you talked about from East Delhi and Northeast Delhi, I'm sorry, their party has done well in their constituencies because the Congress has done well in these two constituencies, and they have been cut substantially into the Aam Aadmi Party votes, and where their party has fared better.
Okay, so let's do something really interesting now. I want to convert these ward results into assembly trends and then Lok Sabha trends. So essentially, what if assembly elections were held right now and we use this as the base vote? If you were to do that, the Aam Aadmi Party's seat share would come down from 60 in 2020 to 39 now. So that's a loss of about 21 seats when this is converted into an assembly election. The BJP's seat share would go up from 8 to 29. So you'd still have AAP with more than 35, so they'd still be able to form the government, but nowhere close to the kind of dominating victory that they had last time. And if I were to convert this now into Lok Sabha trends, remember the BJP won all 7 seats. If we were to convert this into Lok Sabha, the AAP would win 5, the BJP would win 2. So AAP would win all the 5 seats, the BJP would win Manoj Tiwari and Gautam Gambhir seats. So if anybody in the BJP can smile, it's Manoj Tiwari and Gautam Gambhir. Both batsmen, both enjoy their cricket.
But for a very important reason that Siddharth gave. And that's where the Congress damaged the Aam Aadmi Party in Northeast and East. And remember, that's also Northeast where the riots took place. So there are lots of lessons to be learned. That, when riots take place, the government is expected to act even-handedly, protect those who are being, who are the victims. These are all lessons. Politics, Rahul, changes very quickly.
I want to add to that, in the last assembly elections, Congress has forfeited its Jamanat on all the 70 seats. Whereas in these elections, Congress has contested election without forfeiting their deposit money on about 80 seats. So 80 seats is a very large number where Congress has been in contest. And
the interesting thing when you look at Delhi, Rahul, the big pictures, if you look at the early part when Delhi got statehood, Madan Lal Khurana, Sahib Singh Verma, BJP appeared a dominant party. I still remember that election of, 98, I think, when Sheila Dikshit came to power. First, no one gave her a hope in hell. Everybody thought BJP was the natural party of power of Delhi. Then for 15 years, Sheila Dikshit rules. And everybody thought Sheila Dikshit is here forever. Then what happens? Within a couple of years, the Congress almost evaporates. And Arvind Kejriwal comes. Looking at what happened in 2020, you'd think Mr. Kejriwal is here forever. The voter constantly puts political parties on notice. If they don't deliver on their promises, if they are seen to be ideologically flexible, I think all of this plays out, Rahul. So therefore, I think this election in a way, while Mr. Kejriwal has his national ambitions, believes he's a challenger to the BJP, he needs to get his own citadel right. And I think that's the message that's coming out from the
remember also, in those images that you saw, we're out of time on the show, but on these images that you saw from the AAP office, they basically tried to celebrate BJP style. So therefore, Kejriwal very clearly wants to play on the same political pitch as the BJP. The entire AAP top brass, Sanjay Singh, Bhagwant Mann, Manish Sisodia, Gopal Rai, celebrating like the BJP big guns. It's a smaller victory. They were dancing to Rinki ke Papa, poor Manoj Tiwari. They're dancing to Rinki ke Papa, celebrating in a big way. Unlike Rahul Gandhi's brand of politics, which is trying to reinvent how the modern day elections are fought and won, AAP says if this is the game, we can play it too.
No, sure. You see, they have reason to celebrate. And it's very interesting that he came to the AAP office only when they had crossed 126. Because he didn't want to make the mistake that I celebrate prematurely. So he came when they had reached 126, crossed the halfway mark, then came to the office. But under those celebrations, I think there are issues of concern that the Aam Aadmi Party will have to address going ahead to retain Delhi as their unquestioned citadel.
And they're also cheeky.